What are the rules?
What are the rules?
Welcome to the Movie Epidemic podcast. We're talking musicals. We're talking the freeway to the Oscar. The freeway rolls on, Chadley.
Yeah, absolutely. We're almost there too. Like it's actually what 2 weeks from today.
2 weeks. Yeah.
2 weeks from today. Shit, we don't have as much time as I thought. I gotta watch more of these fucking movies.
Well, I know. Fucking Chadley's on fucking Facebook posting about all the video games he's playing, and I'm literally like, Chadley, you have to watch these movies so we can just fucking do this podcast. Like,
we gotta pump them out. We gotta pump.
You're out of control. Like, I understand you need to play video games because you're a fucking pleb, but like, could you please watch the fucking movies, Chadley?
Yeah, sometimes you gotta fire up a Mario, a full-on Mario.
Yeah, I guess. So what's on the table for today here, Chadley?
Today we're talking about musicals. Some good stuff, some bad stuff. We'll get into it a little bit later. We're going to be talking about the brand new movie from Damien Chazelle of Whiplash fame. It's called La La Land. This is the Oscar frontrunner, you guys. This is the one that's slated to win, and we're going to be
ladies and gentlemen, and it will win.
Yeah, and it will win. We will talk about whether or not that is or is not a good thing. We're also going to be talking about Sing Street. Is Sing Street a Netflix original, or is it just on Netflix?
It is just on Netflix.
Oh, okay, because I was talking to somebody the other day about the fact that Sing Street isn't nominated for Best Picture. We'll get to it a little bit later, but about why that movie isn't nominated for Best Picture. But we'll talk about that when the time comes. We're also, because there wasn't 3 really good musicals that came out this year, we're also going to be talking about Hidden Figures, trying to knock down another one of those Oscar flicks before we hit the day in 2 weeks from today. That's gonna be the whole show. Before we start though, last week on pod, you had said before we started, or I don't know if it was during the podcast or whatever, but you had said that you were really excited to see the Santa Clarita Diet because it had Timothy Olyphant. Have you had the chance to check that out?
I sure haven't, sir.
Just so you know, I have watched the first episode now, and it is the worst thing ever. And here's why it's awful: is because nobody gives a shit except for Timothy Olyphant.
Which is about what I expected, though, so I might actually enjoy it.
You got Drew Barrymore. She's going 10%. Here's the thing. I've seen Drew Barrymore act, and I've also seen her not act in the Santa Clarita Diet. But just when you think the acting couldn't get any worse, guess who tromps onto screen?
Oh, who rolls up?
Nathan Fillion.
Oh, there
you go. When you think
there's the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, absolutely. We watched, I don't even know if we finished it, but we had to, I think we turned it off because I think we watched the first 20 minutes and we were like, you know what? This is not for us. That being said, I've heard a lot of people say that it does get a lot better after the first episode.
I have heard that too. But here's the thing about the content era we live in, where Netflix decided they need to release something every week. I get it. They're trying to move away from having other people's content on there. And I would think by 2020, there's not even going to be movies on Netflix that aren't made by them, probably. But
there's not going to be TV shows for sure.
No, there won't be TV shows.
It'll just be.
I mean, they do have a couple good deals in place right now. So, the Disney deal is pretty good, where they get them like a month after they're out of theaters, which is good.
Yeah, like Star Wars and stuff.
Star Wars, Marvel. But when it comes to this content era, if your show is not good in less than 30 minutes, probably, I don't care. I'm not going to watch the rest of it. There's too much shit.
Absolutely. And that was my problem with a Series of Unfortunate Events, is I started watching that and I'm like, look, there's 90 other Netflix shows that 30 people are screaming at me, telling me I gotta watch. And if this isn't good in the first 30 minutes, I'm just gonna move on to something else.
Dude, I watch movies, so I don't really have time for watching all these series. I'm still watching Daredevil season 2, which came out fucking last year.
Yeah, I saw, once again, I saw all of the first Daredevil season I was really impressed with, but I watched the first episode of season 2 and I was like, you know what? I'm not that impressed anymore, so I'm just going to move on because there's a million other things. As far as Netflix, I don't think there's any Netflix show that it's other than maybe BoJack Horseman, that's I gotta see this the second it comes out, And even BoJack Horseman, I haven't even finished this 3rd season yet.
Let's see, I have. I would say maybe House of Cards, but even now I feel like it's too much. Yeah, that was that was their first big hit, right? So
yeah,
that and Orange is Black.
Did Better Call Saul get canceled, or what's the deal with that?
No, it's coming back in April.
Oh, is it coming back?
In April.
Oh, dude, it's coming back. I thought it got canceled because I just hadn't heard about it.
Season?
Maybe. I seem to recall that I did. Yeah,
I did not. So I have like 2 months to watch it.
If it's on, maybe I didn't. Maybe I only watched the first season. But if I didn't, I'll check that out. I think it's on Netflix. So I think they got that.
I mean, I have a VPN, so I'll just go watch it on fucking British Netflix or whatever.
Yeah, but I've actually had an interesting week. My wife got surgery this week. My wife. And here's the thing about when people get surgery. You're supposed to look after them and shit. I did none of that.
Well, here's the thing about Chadley is he can barely take care of himself.
Yeah, you're supposed to take care of a person, and like the dentist, because she got fucking like all her wisdoms out, so she got all fucked up, and the dentist was like, "Oh yeah, she'll be fine to just be on her own." Turns out that's not correct, because I'm at work getting all these phone calls from her being like, "You should fucking be here," because she's fainting and bleeding all over the place, and so I've had to look after her, and by look after her, I mean like basically, I order pizza and then I call it a day. But yesterday, she was like, she was all fucked up, right? So she would just say yes to anything, and she was all like, she wanted to watch a movie. She was like, I want to watch a romantic comedy, and I was like, ooh, I got a romantic comedy for you. Guess what? Guess what I put on?
What'd you put on?
Don John, baby, Don John.
Man, he loves his porn.
Yeah, absolutely. Loves his porn. It's porn. But yeah, and then also we watched 50-50. We did the old Joseph Gordon-Levitt
JGL double feet.
The double feet. And here's what I noticed about both those movies, and I just think it's so weird. Both of those movies have like scenes where Joseph Gordon-Levitt monologues about how much he loves the Swiffer. Both of them. Both really? Those movies have it. Yeah, it's really weird. You watch it back to back, and you're like, wait, he was talking about this in the fucking last movie I watched. He's talking about the Swiffer again.
What the fuck, JGL?
So now I imagine just like every time Joseph Gordon-Levitt...
I gotta go watch The Wire again and see if he had a Swiffer on that fucker.
And you're like, the greatest thing is that like I like to imagine that like on movie sets he's constantly derailing scenes. It's like no, like Christopher Nolan is like trying to direct him in Batman, and he's like, here's the thing, Mr. Wayne, the Swiffer offers a lot. Whoa, Joseph, we talked about the Swiffer. It's like, Swiffer offers the best cleaning for your hardwood floors and laminate. It's like, I love the image.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Should we talk about?
Let's talk about some movies here.
Let's talk about some movies. So La La Land is a new movie from Damien Chazelle. We talked about Damien Chazelle like when he did Whiplash. I think what is that, like 2 years ago now? Yeah,
it's an early episode.
Which is a great film. I think I'm a little softer on it now than I was when we first talked about it.
Well, I like it exactly as much as I liked it before. A solid 4 star.
Yeah, I mean, I still think it's a great movie, but there is one thing that until I saw La La Land, I didn't really realize. It's literally just white people playing jazz music. That's what Whiplash is.
Here's the thing: I don't know Damien Chazelle, but I think he might be someone who thinks white people invented jazz.
Okay, so here's the thing about like La La Land is about a white guy who plays jazz music, and we'll get a little bit more into that because this one's a bit more offensive than Whiplash. But
Whiplash could be about it. Like it is about like a jazz band, which
it's a university setting, so I get it.
Still sort of offensive that there's not even a single black person in Whiplash, but
sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles. But I was looking at Damien Chazelle because I'm like, here's the thing: this guy has to have directed a movie that's not about white people playing jazz. So I opened up his old IMDb. I looked at everything that he directed, and essentially he's directed 4 movies in his lifetime. He's directed La La Land, which is about white people playing jazz, Whiplash, which is about white people playing jazz, the Whiplash short, also about white people playing jazz, and he also directed a movie, the first movie he ever made is called Guy and Madeline on a Park Bench. And so I opened that up, and I'm like, all right, let's give this the benefit of the doubt. Let's take a look at the synopsis here. After connecting with the shy Madeline, a jazz trumpeter, oh, motherfucker! And I looked it up. The guy is white. What is your fucking problem, Damien Chazelle? What is wrong with you?
Likes jazz.
Why is it just white people playing jazz music? Why is it literally the only thing you can make movies about?
I don't know, but I do know that he likes it.
So let's get into La La Land here. So this movie is a musical, sort of. And like I think that's what people are praising it for, the fact that it's an homage to classic musicals, like things like Anything Goes or things like that. Essentially, Ryan Gosling plays an aspiring jazz musician, and Emma Stone plays an aspiring actress in LA. You know, it's this big fucking thing. This movie is pretty. This is a pretty looking movie.
Oh yeah,
it's a pretty good, a little boisterous with its visuals, but nonetheless pretty.
I think that's fine in like for a musical. I think that's absolutely fine. It's whimsy. It's what people pay to see. You know.
Well, like it reminds me sort of like the boisterous and loud visuals of something like Across the Universe, or even like Moulin Rouge, but fuck Baz Luhrmann forever. But
oh, we love Baz. What are you talking about?
We don't love Baz. We hate Baz here.
I'd love to have
Baz is on the blacklist. No, Baz is on the blacklist. But it's a very boisterous.
Our good friend Baz.
And I think for this movie, I think the boisterous and loud visuals really work.
Yeah. No, I agree completely.
Here's what doesn't work. Almost everything else. The problem is that the movie is not written like a movie. It's barely written like a stage show, honestly. Because I think having too much exposition in a movie is a bad thing, but I think having too little exposition is a bad thing too. Sometimes stuff would just happen without any reason or what's the word I'm looking for? There's no reason or rhyme for it. They don't explain it. It's not explained. Stuff would just happen. For instance, there's a scene in this movie because like the idea is that she stumbles upon this Ryan Gosling character, who, by the way, is a total cocksucker. He's a complete asshole. This guy is a complete asshole, and
he's not a likable character at all.
He's a very unlikable character, and yet this beautiful, beautiful woman is pining over her. No matter how rude he is, he fucking honks at her in traffic. He purposely and violently walks into her at a club, and then he's like rude to her again about his fucking 80s cover band. Yeah, and yet she is pining over him over him.
There's one scene at the beginning when his friend or whatever, sister or something's like trying to set him up with this girl, and he's like, "Does she like jazz?" And she's like, "Probably not." And he's like, "What are we going to talk about then?" That's literally, I had a conversation one time, but instead of jazz, I'm like, "Well, does she like memes?"
What are we gonna talk? You know what? I think you're not lying. I think you've told me this story before.
It's a real story, dude.
But yeah, also like it's just like that closed-minded thought, right? Is the closed-minded thought structure of each of the characters is like, oh well, I'm gonna be an actress or I ain't gonna be nothing. And it's like, okay, well,
as someone who spends a lot of time in LA, the romanticizing of the place like makes me uncomfortable a bit, I think.
Yeah, it's not a pleasant place. People are out there basically,
but I guess
just like selling their lives for what will eventually be absolutely nothing.
Oh, thanks for saying that, Chadley, as we're in the middle of making the Qui-Gon Jinn movie with Disney.
Yeah, but we already got the deal, so we already got the deal. And we're not hiring anybody who ain't AAA already famous.
Yeah, that's true.
we got Neeson, we got The Rock on board.
Okay, can we not talk about this right now, Chadley? You signed an NDA, bitch.
Whoops. But either way. So this movie, I think its big problem for me is that they start to write it as a musical, and it felt like the writers lost interest in writing a musical somewhere along the way, because the first 10 minutes has 3 musical numbers, and then there's probably 3 musical numbers in the last 2 hours.
Yeah, I agree. It really loses itself in being like some sort of. It feels. You know what it feels like to me? It feels like an SNL skit of like like making fun of a musical. Like
yeah, sort of.
Because I get like why people find it charming, but that brush is completely completely past me usually.
I think it's certainly a charming movie. I don't think that it means that it's a good movie, though. I don't think that
but that's why people like it, though.
Yeah, because I mean, it does. Yeah, it's whimsical, and maybe whimsy isn't for everybody. It's certainly not for people like you or I. But
we'll talk about Sing Street, bitch. That's full of whimsy, and I love it.
Fair enough. I just think that like the whimsy mixed with the unlikable characters is a little tough to swallow.
Yeah, that might be part of it. One of my biggest issues with La La Land here is, why is Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone singing? Like,
all right, I knew you were going to bring this up, so let's actually talk about this. I think Emma Stone is a fine singer. She's anything special. I don't think she's anything special, but I think she does it adequately. It's like Emma Watson in Beauty.
She is worse at dancing than Ryan Gosling, though.
Yeah, absolutely. That's because Ryan Gosling is a king of dancing.
Yeah, he's a smooth motherfucker. But can't sing at all. The Rock is better at singing.
I cannot believe that legit. Last week when we talked, or whatever week we talked about Moana, I was like, I think The Rock might be a better singer than everyone in La La Land. That was straight up a joke. But turns out The Rock is better at singing than everyone in La La Land. Look, I get it. Ryan Gosling is pretty and he can dance, but there are plenty. This movie basically shows you that there are plenty of people in Hollywood who are multi-talented, who are willing to do stuff like this. Can we get
a professional in the booth?
Yeah, fuck, get somebody doing his voiceover.
You can have Gosling. That's fine. Get a professional in the booth.
But here's the real question that I have. Is it like,
why isn't John Legend the star?
Okay, sure. But my real question is actually, why isn't Justin Timberlake the star? Doesn't that feel like kind of this character was written for Justin Timberlake?
Yeah, actually.
Because like I think Justin Timberlake, well, he can dance, he can sing, and he can act. And Ryan Gosling is just Justin Timberlake without the singing.
Look, I love Gosling.
I do too. I think he's an excellent actor. I don't think he's a very good director, but I think he's an excellent actor.
I like Lost River. I think Lost River is a lot of fun.
Fuck Lost River. But I do really like Gosling, and he's great in this movie acting.
Yeah, no, I agree.
He's great in this movie when he's acting, when it's just him. Like, there's a scene where him and Emma Stone are having dinner together, and like that's probably the best scene in the entire movie, because it's the only scene where any of the characters seem to have any sort of emotion or fire or passion, and the rest of the movie is just like, well, we're out here trying to be jazz musicians, and if we don't make it, everyone else is dumb. Like, I don't know. It's just, and then there's the big problem with this movie. All right, and like this is a big problem they took away. All right, we got this white guy playing what is typically jazz. Like, let's be real here. Jazz music, it's typically it's a black art. You know, it's definitely, it's part of black culture for sure.
Oh, I did see a documentary on jazz recently at it was like a film fest screening like a couple weeks ago, and the guy in the film describes it as he doesn't like the word jazz. He's like, that's a label that was put on us. I prefer the term black classical. And I'm like, oh shit, that's a good way to describe it.
Yeah, because like, and like, I don't have a problem with white people playing jazz, but here's what I do have a problem with. White people playing jazz and looking down their nose at black people who play jazz. And that's what happens in this movie. And that's honestly
crazy, it's one of the craziest scenes ever. Because John Legend is like actually fucking amazing at acting. Like, who would have thought that?
Yeah, who would have known? It's amazing. But the problem is that scene where him and John Legend start the jazz band together, and then like the hip hop comes in, and you see like this life leave Ryan Gosling's face, and you know he thinks that they're ruining jazz with hip hop. And then John Legend, it's like, it's just what jazz is now, bitch. And it's like, why would John Legend even agree to be in this? This is like,
well, I think he wrote a lot of the music for it too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
I know he wrote. He wrote the one good song in the entire movie, which is the song that we're not supposed to like.
Yeah. But that's true. But yeah, well, because they make it out to like that Ryan Gosling is pure jazz.
Yeah, pure jazz musician. Whereas like all these black folks are like fake jazz musicians ruining jazz with hip hop.
Dude.
Oh.
So fucking offensive.
I feel uncomfortable talking about it. And the thing is like I talk because my mom has seen this movie, and I talked to her about this morning, and she's like, I think you're seeing things that aren't really there. And I'm like, I don't think I am, honestly. I think that this is in plain sight. They don't hide it. They don't hide that this white person truly believes he is superior at this black music style than the black people. They don't hide it. They don't hide. In fact, there's scenes later in the movie where him and Emma Stone talk about how much better he is than the black people at length.
I mean, they don't say it like that, but
no, they don't say it like that. But that is what they're saying. Let's be real for a moment here.
Well, it is interesting because I feel like the audience of this movie is predominantly like white people that are into like the whole social justice movement.
Yep. Sure.
Why? I don't understand. Like no one. How does it take us to like realize that Red Turtle's about dude fucking a turtle, and La La Land is about fucking white dude that thinks he's better at jazz than black people? I don't. Why does it take the movie Epidemic podcast, Chad? I don't understand.
We're not smart people, and we seem to be catching the shit that everyone's missing. Like absolutely everyone is missing.
I feel like I always have to fucking describe this shit to people, and then they're like, "Oh, that's actually a good point." It's like, yeah, no shit. Look, I'm fucking dumb, right? But I'm not coming into these things without an argument. That's my whole gimmick, is I always have an argument.
I feel like every time we make a discovery like this about a movie that people are saying is great, I have to like stop in the middle of my review and be like, "Look, I'm fucking serious, guys. Like, I'm fucking serious. This is
like,
actually
this is not like, okay. I understand that we're known for doing bits and shit, but like,
this is not a bit.
We're being completely serious.
We're playing this shit straight deadpan. This is actually what this movie's about. And maybe we're grasping at straws, and maybe there's whimsy that you and I just don't care for in this movie, and it bypassed us.
I still think overall, when I watch this, all that aside, I do enjoy it. It's a gimmick movie for people that enjoy this kind of shit.
I enjoyed parts of it, like the first song where they're singing in the cars. I was like rolling up my sleeves, being like, all right, it's gonna be one of these fucking movies, huh?
But then it's not.
Yeah, and then it's not. It's completely not. And I think that that's a mistake on the screenwriters from the screenwriter's point of view. But as a viewer, I was pleased that it wasn't all, fucking people dancing on top of cars.
I do have a question for you though. Could we get John Legend to play a young Samuel L. Jackson in the Qui-Gon Jinn movie?
Oh, you know what? We can't talk about it, NDA, but we'll push it. We'll put that into the works this week.
A young Mace Windu.
Young Mace Windu, absolutely. I mean, we can see what we can do, but like the thing is like if we do that, we have to let him be a producer too, because he doesn't appear in films he hasn't produced.
We'll work something out.
We'll make it.
What if we let him do the score? John Williams is not interested.
Yeah, it's so
John
weird.
Williams, we can say John Williams passed.
Yeah, we went to John Williams and he had absolutely no interest. He's old though, so like I get it.
He's old.
He's old as hell. But like, here's the thing: is it like this movie? It's just so it's what's the word I'm like? It's unfocused. There is a scene in this movie that I want to talk about that blows my mind because it doesn't need to exist at all. So like. In the early parts of the film, when Ryan Gosling has just met Emma Stone, he's like, "Oh, you want to go on a date and we can go see a movie and see Rebel Without a Cause?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure, we go see Rebel Without a Cause, whatever."
Interesting accent you're throwing on there.
Yeah, definitely not the accent she had in the film, then after that scene, it is brought to the audience's attention that Emma Stone's character has a boyfriend.
Yeah.
And so she essentially has to go on a date with her boyfriend, but she ditches her boyfriend to go see the movie with Ryan Gosling. And that's never mentioned again. Why the fuck is it in there? Why is it there? What are you trying to tell me?
What's not mentioned again? That she had a boyfriend?
That she had a boyfriend.
That's the end. It's the full end sequence. She gets back together with the same guy.
Yeah, I know. I got that much. But like that could have been anybody, and that end sequence would have been just the same.
Okay,
It seriously would
I
have been
understand.
exactly the same.
I understand, but it's the whole idea that he's a fucking rich guy that doesn't have dreams, doesn't have a vocation.
Okay, sure. Here's another problem with this movie, and we talked
No,
about
I
this with
understand. No, I understand, Chadley, that it's not brought up again and should be for character development. But I'm just explaining why it's in there.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Here's another problem with this movie, and we talked about this when we talked about Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. It's ballsy to save the best part of your movie to the last like 4 minutes. Don't do that. You can't, because like that end scene, like
Is that going to be a new thing? Do you think?
Yeah, it must be, because like that end sequence where you sort of, I don't want to give spoilers. Well, actually, yeah, don't see this movie, so maybe I'll throw out some spoilers. This movie came out 2 months ago, whatever. That end sequence where he's at the jazz club and he plays that song to the visual of essentially what their life could have been like had they stayed together.
Mm-hmm.
It's enchanting. That part of the movie is enchanting,
good,
and it totally, yeah, it drew me in. It's just
like
unfortunate.
Like that weird. You've seen Singing in the Rain, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that
that
weird fucking Broadway melody. 15-minute bit at the end that makes no sense, but it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's like that.
Yeah, absolutely. But the thing with this movie, and I think is its biggest problem, is that it's touted as a musical. I can't sing you any of the songs. I saw this movie yesterday. I can't sing you any of the songs. I don't
like City of Stars like a lot.
I don't remember how it goes. I know it's slow, but I couldn't sing it to you.
Well, last week I know the
yeah. Last week on the pod, I literally sang the entire song of You're Welcome from Moana. You want to know why? Because it was catchy and it was fun. And I can sing you some of the songs from Sing Street too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Fuck. Because they're catchy and they're fun.
Well, it is baffling that, but it is baffling, but at the same time, I understand, like, why it exists and why it's going to win.
Yeah, here's the thing: is that we have to decide whether or not the Academy wants to make reparations for the Oscars so white thing, though, right? Because like it is one of two movies. I think we talked about this last week. It's either La La Land because it's got the gimmick, or it's Moonlight because they want to make up for the Oscars being so white last year.
I still feel like it has to be La La Land.
I think it's
like 14 nominations, dude. Hey, let's talk about this for a minute. Do we gotta have 2 songs nominated for best song?
Yeah, and I think once we go into Sing Street, we'll talk about even more why that's preposterous. Hey, You're Welcome from Moana is not nominated for best original song.
Trolls though.
Yeah, and fucking Trolls is nominated for. Okay, look. Music from La La Land, granted, is better than the song from Trolls. But here's the thing. Can you sing me the song from Trolls?
I don't even know which song in that movie was the song that's nominated.
I know that song. I know it because it's catchy. It's not very good. It's a pop song, but it's catchy, and I remembered it. You know what? I didn't remember any of the music from this movie. And I think if a movie is going to rely so heavily on its musical background, probably got to write some good fucking music. Like,
well, they didn't have Lin-Manuel Manuel, so that's always a problem.
True. Take On Me's "Aha" was the only catchy song in this.
It's crazy that both Sing Street and La La Land had a fucking Take On Me's scene.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we're at a point where everybody is just in agreement that "Take On Me" is the greatest song of all time.
It is though. That's the thing.
Yeah. And like it really is. You and I called this early. I think you and I have started to call trends because I think back in like 2007, you and I were like, Take On Me is going to be the biggest
earlier,
song on the planet.
I think
2006, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we were the only motherfuckers listening to that shit because I've been into yacht rock for like fucking 20 years. I love yacht rock.
Yeah, but like we were talking about like fucking how good Take On Me is like over a decade ago, and everyone was like, you guys are dumb. You guys are dumb. You don't know what you're talking about. Now it's in every movie.
You guys are idiots. No way fucking Hall & Oates is going to make a resurgence with the yacht rock movement.
Dude, we called it. Now that we're talking about, here's the thing. Before we move on to Sing Street, I'm just going to say La La Land, maybe skip it. It's not that great. It's fine. I don't
even
that.
It is a gimmick movie, and like I feel like people need to start admitting that it is a gimmick movie. And
people are defending this movie's ability to write itself, and it's like, actually,
dude, I think it's absolutely fine that you like this, that someone likes this movie. I understand that completely. But you gotta admit that it's a gimmick movie.
Yeah, this movie is for a certain set of people.
All right,
a certain set of people. It's just not you and I, or anybody who likes movies.
But it should be, though.
Yeah, I agree. This should be for people who like movies.
Yes, absolutely.
This is the front runner. This is tied for most Academy Award nominations.
Because look, I'm a dumb dude, but like, if a musical's good, I will like it. That's the thing. Like,
well, and the thing is on Letterboxd.com, on my review of this film, I gave it a 1.5 star. Yeah. I think that easily would have been a 3 stars had this not been the front runner for the Academy goddamn Awards.
Yeah.
Like, because that's the big problem, is that this movie is being touted as the be-all, end-all of films. And it's not. It's not even good.
It's not even as good as, I would say, probably, because people are like into this thing now where they're like, actually, 2016 was a lot better than 2015. Bitch, I can think of probably 25 movies from 2015 that were better than La La Land.
I was talking about this with someone yesterday, or no, this was today. I was talking to someone about this, about how when I did my top 10 list of 2015, I had like every movie on my top 10 list was a 5-star. Was a movie that I gave a 5-star on Letterboxd.com on my review. Every movie and I had to omit some 5 stars. Right now, as it stands, I haven't seen every movie yet. Granted, I've given out 4 5 stars, 5-star ratings in 2016 films. That's it. Like that. That's a weak year.
I think there was some great films that came out this year. I'm not denying that. Manchester by the Sea, Moonlight, Sing Street, Arrival. I think those are all fantastic films. Thing is, though, I saw about 25 to 30 great films in 2015.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Because here's the thing, is that there's not any, there's very few amazing and astounding films from 2016, and there's a lot of pretty good stuff. I saw a lot of pretty good stuff in 2016, and I saw a lot
besides about my top 4, maybe 5 from this year. I don't think anything is like. Last year I struggled to put together a top 10 of movies that I actually think are some of the greatest movies ever.
Yeah, it's gonna be easy this year. It's gonna be stuff that doesn't touch my top 100 favorite films of all time list.
Well, a lot of my shit we haven't even talked on.
Yeah,
the show. So.
Yeah, I don't know. This year, I don't understand people trying to defend this year. And you know what? Maybe it's sort of symbolic that such a sludge bucket year is going to have such a sludge bucket film win Best Picture. So maybe it's just going to be an easier reminder as to why 2016 was so bad in film, is having La La Land hold that Oscar. Mm-hmm. Unless they give it to something else, which they won't, but they should.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out on the 26th.
The 26th, 2 weeks, 26th of February.
So that's probably La La Land. You want to talk some Sing Street or what?
Yeah, hey, this is 30 times better than La La Land.
New Sing Street's fucking awesome. It's Dude,
it's good.
It does everything that La La Land does fucking horribly. It gives you some likable characters. I mean, still, granted, the character development for a lot of the characters is a little lacking. I would have liked to know more about some of the other characters, but
the guy with glasses, what's his name, is Amin or something like that. Amin. That character,
exactly our friend
Justin McGuire. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, called him out on the show. We just goved him, but I would have liked to know a little bit more about him. I do think that there are some aspects to this movie that are purposely unrealistic to sort of, because this and La La Land both have that theme of chase your dreams and you're gonna make it. And it's
when it's a movie about a dreamer, I think it's okay to bend reality and who gives a shit, Chadley? That's your only complaint, is that it's not realistic.
Dude, I was talking to somebody about this today, and I was like, man, I've got to go into a podcast and talk about Sing Street, but I have not a single goddamn negative thing to say about this movie. It's tough.
Well,
it's
let's
tough
talk
to
about the
find.
things that are good then.
Yeah,
Fucking,
absolutely.
because legitimately, this is one of my favorite movies of the year. Like, I
Yeah,
love this movie.
I
It's
agree.
like it's so joyful. It's like it's in a year of movies I've just been like fucking miserable times, just
Relentlessly.
relentless misery is I think how we described it prior. It's so nice to just have a movie that's just about enjoying things,
Yeah,
even
and
if
like
they're shitty.
and like the weird thing is like you think that this movie's gonna have some sort of struggle to it, and it really doesn't, which I love. Like the kid is like, okay, I'm gonna start a band, and they're like, all right, you're
Well,
good.
that's why I
And
like it so much because
yeah,
like they immediately just form a band, right? Like
yeah.
like I need to form a band, and his brother's like, okay, form a band. The
Former band,
brother's my
Kona.
favorite dude. He's the fucking sage. He's the sage brother that is giving him all this advice, and it's always fucking hilarious. It's so perfect.
Mm.
But
All his advice is like really, really weird and complex too. Like it usually means absolutely nothing,
yeah,
which is
because he's a
amazing.
stoner. So
Yeah.
he's a sage stoner, and he's like, Connor, I've macheted a path through this bizarre family of our life, and I need you to walk through it. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? But I think where this movie really shines is like it's all original music and it's all fucking awesome. And when they do
It's
use
so
a
catchy.
non-original music, it's something awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the music in this movie is spectacular.
Like fucking Rio.
And here's
When's the last time someone used fucking Rio in a movie? I was fucking losing it.
oh, dude, I loved it. I loved it. But here's the thing. Is that this is what kind of makes me mad about the whole thing is that my brother and I were talking about this yesterday about how the Oscars are sometimes bullshit.
Oh, they're
And
always bullshit. But
this is a great example of this. Last year, Spotlight won, and Straight Outta Compton wasn't even nominated. Like the year that The Dark Knight came out, it wasn't nominated. When clearly that was an astounding film. I think we can all agree.
sure.
Yeah, sure, it's a
The best Batman
blockbuster.
movie.
Yeah, but it's an astounding film and a great leap forward for filmmaking. Maybe not a leap we should have taken because it's led us into
Ooh, gritty films. Yeah,
pretty
it really led
pretty shit.
really led it really led the charge on gritty reboots.
Yeah, absolutely. But like it was good for what it was. It was good. Um, but it's just so preposterous to me that La La Land, a movie that I can't remember a single goddamn song from, is nominated for Best Original Song twice.
Twice.
And Sing Street, look, I can't get Drive It Like You Stole It out of my goddamn head.
Oh,
Why
dude.
why
I
the
watch
fuck
I
isn't
watch
that
the fucking
nominated?
YouTube version every day. It's the best, dude.
I watched it twice today. I've already watched the YouTube version twice today.
You know what I fucking did? I was saving this for the pod, but I ordered the fucking vinyl for like $50 from fucking England.
Bless.
Yeah.
That's a good investment. That is an excellent, well spent $50.
Because like it's like all these like great original songs, plus like some fucking Duran Duran and shit thrown in there.
Yeah, absolutely. But like Drive It Like You Stole It is like not only the best song I've heard in a movie this year, but the best song I've heard in a movie in years.
Yeah.
It's excellent. It's so good.
There's a lot of characters in this movie, and yeah, there's like some like especially the band. I feel like they don't really talk about anybody after you meet them initially.
Yeah.
But it's not it's more about Connor and Rafina.
That kid also, by the way, is one of the best actors I've seen in movies this year.
Yeah.
What's his name? Ferdia, it's something weird. It's like Ferdia Welsh Peel or something like that.
Yeah.
But he is spectacular as this main character, and the way that they make you feel emotions for these characters, I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah,
it's great.
I love because it's like it's weird because it's like set up like a movie that would be for like kids or something, but it's clearly for adults. It's like dudes running around, they're like faggot.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's some great scenes. There's like a lot of just like scenes I just adore in this fucking movie.
And like what I like about this movie too is that it sort of breaks down schoolyard roles, right? Like schoolyard expectations of how a person should act, and totally compresses that into this fun, lighthearted, dreamy. I think you used the word dream. He's a dreamer. is like this dreamy film. It's like everybody. I wish that I was like this in high school, and I think everybody wishes they're like this in high school because he's like,
yeah,
he's like this little dorky kid who becomes the coolest kid in school because he's able to create.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the better scenes too.
Yeah,
when he's talking about how he's like, you can only destroy, I can create. There's so many scenes like, because like it goes through like every era of like the music of the time. There's like the Duran Duran phase, the Cure phase. The Cure phase is my favorite. He's like, I'm happy, sad. He's like,
happy, sad.
We live in a world of rapists and bullies, and you know, we're just gonna keep going. We're just gonna make some shit.
See, when he started going off on that, I thought he was going to be like, "Look, we live in a world of rapists and bullies, and you know, we come out here every day with our music, and we don't care." Thought he was going to go on a rant there, and I was really excited about it.
You thought he was going to do "We Don't Care"?
Yeah, I thought he was going to do a "We Don't Care," and I was really excited about it.
Yeah.
Fucking,
it's a good movie, man.
Yeah, like it's really hard to say anything other than this is a really excellent movie. And the crazy thing is, it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Now I was talking to somebody about this, and I don't know the rules. I think maybe I'm wondering if you know the rules, but to be nominated for an Academy Award, somebody had told me that you have to have a movie play in a theater in LA. Is that correct or is that incorrect?
Sort of. It has to have a release. It has to be LA, but it's in a window, but you can easily just release it for a week and you're eligible. But again, I don't know if that's required or if it just helps you.
Encouraged, yeah. Because like the thing about the Academy is that it's all these old dudes who live in LA, and like they're not going to go to Sundance, they're not going to go to Cannes. They want to see all their movies from home. You know, they got 13-year-old kids they got to take care of and shit. So if it's not released in LA, you're probably not. That I think was the problem last year with Ex Machina, is that like sure it played in LA, but like the big place that people talked about it was at film festivals. And
yeah, that's tough for a lot of the film festival movies. I think there was a lot of movies that I saw at the film festival that easily could have gotten a nom, and just they didn't. Which I love them all, and we'll talk about them once we do the top 10 of the year. But yeah, I don't know. I get it. There's a window where you release it for the Oscars, and then you're almost guaranteed a nom if it's a specific type of movie.
Like, yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, I guess that's just the way it goes. But like, because of the way it works, if a movie is a Netflix exclusive, will Netflix just like run it in LA or?
Yep, that's what they did with Beasts of No Nation. They ran it in LA for a week,
and it did nothing.
Yeah, they didn't get a nom,
and they didn't get fucking a nom, which is preposterous. But like, because that's actually the when I was talking to this person about this, that's the example I used is Beasts of No Nation. And
which, as big Elba fans, that should have gotten a nom for sure. At least he should have.
Elba should have won, honestly. Who won? I don't even remember. It
wasn't Will Smith.
Wasn't Will Smith? Should have been. Who won? It was something wacky. It was someone who like should never have had an Oscar.
I don't remember.
It was like Jared Leto. No, it wasn't Jared Leto, but it was something like that. What movies even came out last year? I'm trying to remember. Because like we did the Oscar-sode last year. Mm-hmm. I know Creed came out last year. That's one that comes to mind. Bridge of Spies. Straight Outta Compton. Bridge of Spy.
It's Leo, bitch.
Oh yeah, it was fucking Leo. That's right. Come on, Elba was better than Leo. Let's be real.
I mean, Mark Rylance wasn't supporting. I think probably Elba would have been nominated for that, if anything.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that one's tough because Mark Rylance is legit really good in that film.
Yeah, and Stallone was up.
Remember when everyone thought Stallone was going to win an Oscar? What are you, fucking crazy?
Yeah,
Stallone ain't going to win an Oscar? What are you serious? Are we dumb?
Are we fucking dumb here? It seems like we're dumb.
Are we dumb people?
My favorite part about last year's Oscars was when fucking Mad Max won everything, and they're like, "Yeah, but we're not going to give you Best Picture because we're the Oscars, bitch." Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, that's the most offensive thing you can do is give them every other Oscar."
Why did Spotlight win? I feel like we talked about this on our Oscar episode, but like, why did it win?
That I'm not sure. I think there must have been some money that was moving between.
Yeah, must have been. There's some bribery going on. And like, unfortunately, like last year's Oscars.
Well, here's what I think happened. I think Mad Max did win, and they're like, we can't open up that floodgate though, because then fucking now we're gonna be starting to nominate Star Wars movies and shit for Best Picture.
Which they should have if we're being real here for a moment here. Like,
yes,
Force Awakens absolutely should have been nominated for Best Picture.
But
even as silly as it sounds,
I think this is what I think happened. This is 100%. Okay. I think that Mad Max probably won because they won everything else, and then the Academy, like fucking backdoor Academy shit. They're like, yeah, we're gonna have to change this.
We're gonna have to ixnay that. They're like, what came in second? They're like, doesn't matter.
Don't even worry about all that. We got to give these.
What came in sixth? That's what we're going to make win.
Well, here's the problem with the Academy, in my opinion, is a lot of the people that vote on it are producers on these fucking big ass movies like Spotlight and shit. So, of course, they're going to vote for their own thing, right?
That makes sense. But there's like 6,000 people in the Academy, and like you can't have 6,000 producers on Spotlight. Like, there's got to be a
money, and if you vote for my movie, you can produce my next movie. You know, a lot of that shit going. It's cohesion.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, Oscars is faked and rigged. I'm excited to talk about how faked and rigged it is again this year when fucking La La Land wins. I can't believe that we're gonna have 2 years in a row when the worst movie nominated wins Best Picture. That's gonna be crazy.
It is what it is, Shanley.
It's absolutely
not that bad though. It's not Oscar worthy.
Spotlight is a good movie. It's just last year was actually pretty fucking good for Oscar films, and it was the worst film nominated.
Pretty strong nominations last year.
There was no American Sniper last year, whereas this year we do have an American Sniper with La La Land. Not as offensive as American Sniper, but
yeah, American Sniper's like it actually baffles me that American Sniper is a real movie and that people
Not many films are as bad as American or as offensive as American Sniper, I think.
Yeah.
It's tough to say. Well, we actually since we're talking about musicals, do we want to count down our top 5 favorite musicals?
Absolutely.
Before we go any further though, 100%, Sing Street is on Netflix. Go watch it immediately. Watch it immediately.
If you want to just feel some pure joy for an hour and 45 minutes.
Just you want to smile?
Yeah.
You want because I'm interested in smiling, but apparently nobody is anymore.
Relentless joy.
Relentless joy.
And a year of relentless misery.
Well, why don't you start us off with your number 5 favorite musical?
My number 5. This is one I watched a little while ago. It's 1935 Fred Astaire film called Top Hat. It's I don't know if you've ever seen this one.
I have not.
It's pretty cool. It's like a screwball comedy that Fred Astaire dances a lot in because he's one of those guys that's like not that good at singing again, but he's so fucking good at dancing. It's actually confusing.
That's awesome. But I mean, I would love to see that. I would love to see that.
Top Hat's pretty good.
It's the Ryan Gosling effect, I call it, when you're not good at singing, but you're really good at dancing.
Yeah. Well, I think he was like a dancer, and they're like, I don't know too much about Fred. I don't know too much about old school Hollywood. I do like watching some old stuff, but I do recommend Top Hat. I think that's a really strong musical.
Yeah, I'm right.
1935.
1935. My number 5 favorite film that is a musical. This one's going to surprise some people. Actually, probably not, because I've talked about this series a billion times. It's The Muppet Movie. I love I don't know what's up with me, but for some reason I love the Muppets so much that everything they do is like pure gold to me.
Yeah,
like pure. And like I know it's all marketing.
I don't think you watched a single episode of the Muppets television show when it came back on, though, right?
No, I didn't. That's because I don't think anybody did.
That's why I got canceled.
Whoops. Sorry.
So obviously you don't like it that much, because it is now canceled because of you.
Did it for real get canceled? I thought it was still going.
Yeah, it got canceled after like 15 episodes or something. They had like 22, and they're like, just no one's watching this.
I can't believe that they were trying to do like an Office style fucking Muppet thing. And when I first saw a trailer for like that, I'm like, this is gonna be amazing. And then I really thought about it, and I'm like, oh wait, that might be the worst. But I haven't seen it. But it could be good. I'm sure it is good, actually.
Well, it got canceled, so how good could it be, Chadley?
What's your number 4?
My number 4, John Landis, father of the king, Max Landis. This is the Blues Brothers, baby.
Ooh, dude, I love Max Landis. Jokes.
Powerful Max Landis.
Yeah, you know what? Like, the Blues Brothers is one of those movies I have seen a really long time ago.
The thing about the Blues Brothers, it's a fucking SNL parody or an SNL movie that's fucking 3 hours long almost. And is a fucking musical, which is the craziest thing you can ever think about.
Yeah, absolutely. That string of sentence barely made sense to me.
It's like whenever I watch the Blues Brothers, I'm like, how the fuck did they make this? Because it has some of like the biggest like fucking crazy scenes, like big blockbuster scenes, like thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of extras. Like I think there's a scene where there's like 50,000 extras. And I'm like, how the fuck did they make this movie? It's so crazy.
Where'd you get the money for this?
It's an SNL movie. It's an SNL movie.
Dude, was SNL? SNL wasn't even that popular when that movie came out. How'd they get the money?
That was peak SNL actually.
Oh, was it peak?
Yeah.
I don't know much. All I know about SNL is that it got real bad real fast.
Not fast, dude. It's been on the air for 30 years. It got bad in the last 10. Like it was good for 20 years.
Yeah. My number 4. Look, I know we like to slog on Tom Hooper from time to time because he's not a very good director, but there's something to be said about Hugh Jackman in Les Miserables.
Yeah.
Here's the thing is that like my hate for Tom Hooper is overridden by my love for everybody else who's in this fucking movie.
Sure.
Like Hugh Jackman is incredible, and like Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe got some slack for this movie because he's not very good at singing. But like, yeah, but like the thing is like he's so good at acting that he's better than everyone else in the movie.
That's what I like. That's my favorite part about Russell Crowe is like, no matter what room he's in, he's always literally the best actor in the room, and he treats everyone like that he is the best, which he is. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, he is. And it's tough. It's tough to argue with a man that's that good. Russell Crowe's amazing. I really like Anne Hathaway in this movie. She actually won an Oscar for this movie, totally deserved. Who else is in this? Sacha Baron Cohen. I even kind of like Helena Bonham Carter, who I notoriously do not like at all, but I actually kind of like her in this movie.
Sure,
she's all right. She's all right,
dude. Classic. It's a classic.
Yeah, Les Miserables. There's a lot of fun here. But this did, however, introduce the world to Eddie Redmayne, which was a mistake.
I hope he never works again. Oh wait, he's got 5 Harry Potter movies. God bless.
he's always working, dude. He'll be working for the rest of his life. He can retire now. He's got the fuck you money.
He will not though, because he wants to torture the movie Epidemic podcast.
It's despite us.
Hey man, I don't mind Newt Salamander though. I'm kind of on board.
No, yeah, Newt Salamander's all right. I kind of like Johnny Depp in that flick.
Dude, Johnny Depp's the best in that movie. I was like, what the fuck?
We'll talk about that probably after the Oscars. But that's a fantastic piece of where to come from or whatever.
We're doing a Fantastic Beast fucking Doctor Strange episode. That's the 2 blockbusters we haven't seen, and everybody's like, why the fuck didn't you watch these movies?
I still haven't watched Doctor Strange.
No, I'm saving it till that episode, Jelly.
We don't care.
My number 3, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Rest in peace.
Willy Wonka. Dude, rest in peace, Gene Wilder. This one's got some like great music. And here's the thing, is it like
dude, sometimes I think about that scene where they're going through the fucking tunnel and he's like, the fucking rowers keep on rowing, and I'm like, that's fucking America right now.
Dude, that's the most crazy blowing. Yeah, that's one of the craziest scenes I've ever seen in cinema. It's wild.
It's in a kids movie too, which is it's avant-garde shit in a kids movie.
My number 3 favorite film, I was gonna say favorite film of all time, but that's not correct. My favorite musical film is actually a movie I used to watch every Easter with my family. This is Jesus Christ Superstar, not the 2000 version with the guy without the beard, because you don't got the beard. I'm not interested. This is the one with Ted Neely. Actually, I've seen this musical live with Ted Neely, which is crazy because Ted Neely's actually been touring with Jesus Christ Superstar longer than Jesus supposedly lived for. Which is
that real?
Yeah, that's legitimately real. He's been touring with Jesus Christ Superstar for over 30 years, which is how long Jesus supposedly lived.
Supposedly.
Yeah, he was old too when I saw him. When I saw him in concert, he was old as hell. And I'm like, man, you're gray-haired Jesus. Like, I don't buy that you're 30.
Yeah, don't give me that gray-haired Jesus shit.
Don't give me that gray. At least dye your hair.
I want jet black hair Jesus.
I want like into My Chemical Romance. Jesus, that's all I care for.
Yeah, dude. I want like, dude might be Japanese. I want the hair to be that black.
Yeah, hell yeah. There's at least there's some Japanese origin in there, but this might be getting into racial.
Dude, when I see a Japanese dude with that jet black hair, I'm like, man, I wish I could emulate that color. It's literally perfect. It's so black.
When I was in high school, I was in dude, this is a true story. When I was in high school, I was in Anything Goes, which is a musical. I was a big drama kid in high school, but in Anything Goes, there's like a racist Asian character, which I was cast as. And as a white man, I found that incredibly difficult. So like I dyed my hair fucking jet black, and you cannot emulate that Asian.
It's so dark. It's so perfect. I love it. Like I actually love it.
Because like mine was like it was black, but like there's definitely some brown in there. Like you could tell it was dyed from brown.
Yeah. It's the point of origin is not jet black. Black is a black hole.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, my number 2, Bob Foss's masterpiece, All That Jazz, baby. You ever seen All That Jazz?
I've not. I should see this.
He's gonna die, man. He is gonna die.
Oh, dude,
I really like All That Jazz. All That Jazz is a fucking great movie. And,
do you have him on the pool?
Like, no, I do not.
No. Okay. Mine. Okay. You know, you were saying something about All That Jazz, and I'm sorry I interrupted you. Why don't you continue about that film?
It's a really weird, like almost avant-garde ass David Lynch ass shit, but like, but a musical. So fucking awesome.
Have you ever seen Cabaret?
I've never seen Cabaret. No,
dude,
I should.
Cabaret is preposterous, dude. It's the most insane thing I've ever seen. It's Liza Minnelli just like screaming at trains. Yeah. I don't think so.
It's somebody famous.
Yeah, I don't remember who did Cabaret, but like it's just Liza Minnelli yelling at trains and stuff. It's the most insane thing ever. What's it called? Hold on, I'm gonna look it up. It's it's Bob Fosse. That's who it is, of All That Jazz fame.
Okay.
So yeah, it's the same guy who did All That Jazz. It's called Cabaret. It's insanity.
God.
But my number 2 favorite musical film of all time, maybe it's Chicago. You ever seen Chicago?
Never seen Chicago.
Oh, dude, you got to see Chicago.
Doesn't your dad love that movie or something?
My dad super loves that movie. I think every dad. I think your dad loves this movie. All dads.
I guarantee you, my dad has never seen Chicago.
My dad loves Moulin Rouge, but I think my dad loves Chicago. Also, I don't understand the love for Moulin Rouge, but I feel like I've already said that like 3 times on this podcast alone.
See, I'm completely on board with Boz.
Yeah, I'm not on board for Boz.
I love Baz's aesthetic. I think it's fantastic.
His aesthetic is fine. It's just like his movies are bad. Like you ever really watch the John Leguizamo Romeo and Juliet, which is 100% what I'm gonna call it forever. Have you?
Yeah, no, I have seen that movie. Like, but the reason why I like Romeo and Juliet and I like The Great Gatsby is because they have fucking awesome aesthetics, and I don't really care what's going on in between. It's just fucking Leo, just like.
Yeah,
just fucking loving it. And then John Leguizamo on fucking ass and shit. That's why it's
John
good.
Leguizamo pulls out a sniper rifle, and it's like, what is this movie about?
Look, that's the content doesn't matter when it comes to Baz. It's purely aesthetic, and it's fucking great. I mean, Moulin Rouge is obviously bad, but I like looking at it.
Yeah, here's the one thing that here's the thing about Moulin Rouge. Jim Broadbent's in that movie, and I love him, but that's the only thing I like about that movie. But there is one thing I really like about Great Gatsby. I love that they're listening to Jay-Z in the 1920s.
Oh,
like that's so that's the greatest thing. That is the one thing I will give Great Gatsby.
It's Leo looking dapper as shit while there's like Rihanna playing and he's like fucking dancing to it. And you're like, oh, that's exactly how Leo would party now. Like this isn't even about the Great Gatsby. This is just about Leo. That's why it's so crazy.
Baz Luhrmann. I don't think Baz Luhrmann has read the book.
It doesn't matter though. Like that's the thing when it comes to like people are all hung up on Baz Luhrmann and fucking destroying classic literature. Who gives a shit about The Great Gatsby? It's barely even that good if you've read it. Like
yeah, in 20 years, fair enough. In 20 years, they'll make another movie of it and it'll be fine. I'm sure.
Look, have you seen The Great Gatsby? Like just like a straight 100% serious version of it? Unwatchable, no. Dude. Get Leo in there dancing to some Rihanna. Fucking, there's confetti on him. He's drinking. He's
Jay-Z rolls up.
He's in it. Like that's how you make a movie. Like in my opinion. Like, if you want to make a Great Gatsby film, you can go over there and fucking direct that shit 100% serious. You got Baz coming in, you know he parties too. Like, you see this movie and you're like, oh, Baz fucking parties hardcore. Because all this was an excuse for Baz and Leo to get super drunk for 6 months and film this crazy movie that makes almost no sense. And Tobey Maguire's there for some reason.
Well, I know why Tobey Maguire is there, and actually what you're saying makes it make way more sense. Tobey Maguire, this is a fun fact for you. Tobey Maguire is actually Leonardo DiCaprio's best friend.
Yeah, that's right. I do remember.
That's right. So they were like, so Leonardo DiCaprio, Baz Luhrmann's like, hey, you want to come party for 6 months? He's like, I got to bring my mate. He's like, bring him along.
Bring him on. Because that's like what if you really watch like a Baz Luhrmann movie, it's not really about the movie. It's more about what the fuck did they do like while they were making this. Like, imagine the acid scene from Romeo and Juliet. There's no doubt in my mind, Baz Luhrmann's like, here's some acid. Now let's film some shit. I'm also on acid. We're going to figure this out.
I like that Baz also is on acid. That's my favorite part. Either way, my number 2 is not a Baz Luhrmann film. It is Chicago with Renee Zellweger and Catherine Zeta-Jones. This one's really fun. It's got memorable music, and that's why I really, really like this one.
Yeah, I should watch that. It's one of those ones that, like, because there's so many movies, Chadley, that I'm like, man, I should. Well, when I was trying to make my list, I'm like, man, I really want to watch a lot more of these, but I don't have time. So sorry.
Yeah, me too. I haven't seen a lot of the older ones. I feel like I've seen some of West Side Story, but I don't really remember. I feel like I have seen it, and I know I've seen
that too, but it's been a long time.
I know I've seen My Fair Lady. I used to own it, but I can't tell you anything about it other than Rex Harrington is like trying to sing with the Solid Snake voice, which I do not appreciate.
Hell yeah.
But what's your number 2? Or are you on number 1? I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm on number 1. My number 1, Singing in the Rain.
Singing in the Rain, baby.
Singing in the Rain, man.
This is a movie that I think I've seen a while ago.
It's really good. I would actually recommend you rewatch it with an adult brain because it's actually like legitimately awesome. Like,
yeah, that's what everybody tells me. That's what everybody tells me.
Fucking Gene Kelly is fucking the most charming motherfucker on the planet, and then the dude that plays Cosmo is like just the greatest stuntman ever, doing like flips and shit all the time. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? This movie's so good. It's like one of those things that you watch in film school and you're like, why haven't I seen this 1,000 times? It's so fucking good.
So for my number 1, what would you say if they're like, all right, let's take this this goofy ass Broadway musical, and they're like, all right, and they're like, all right, let's give it an even goofier aesthetic. All right, let's write some new songs for it. All right, and let's get it. Let's make it directed by the guy who plays Yoda. Oh, all right, and let's have it be a remake of a horror movie from the 50s. And we're like, all right. Well, I'm kind of on board for this. My number 1 is Little Shop of Horrors, baby. It is so goddamn sad. Why is Frank Oz directing movies? Who let him direct a movie? I don't care who did it. I'm happy they did.
I don't know.
What happened to Rick Moranis? Is he back? Because we were talking a year ago that he was back, and he's not back.
Yeah, I think he might not be back.
I thought he was coming back, but turns out he's not back. Hey, Rick Moranis, I know you left Hollywood to take care of your kids, but your kid's 30 now.
Kid's 40 shit. 40 shit.
They're old now. You don't got to keep doing it. We'd like to see some more fucking Rick Moranis. I love Rick Moranis. Nobody else in this movie is really very good, other than like Levi Stubbs, who plays the plant.
We love Levi Stubbs.
Yeah, we absolutely do adore Levi Stubbs. One of the original jazz musicians before, Damien Gazelle started making movies about white people. But yeah, Little Shop of Horrors. The reason I put this at number 1 is because it's a movie I watch frequently because it's fun. Like we were talking about it just now with Great Gatsby, but like this movie just looks like it was so much fun, and I feel like I'm having fun when I'm watching it.
I feel like any movie that's based on like a fucking Roger Corman thing, like people are just fucking around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Roger Corman shit is like my favorite because he makes it in a week. It's like actually not that bad. A lot of them. I mean, there are a lot of terrible ones, but like Little Shop of Horror original, it's fucking great, and he made it in like 6 days or something.
Yeah, that's a really good Roger Corman film. The thing about it too is that they got I'm trying to remember his name. It's Steven something, but the guy who would go on to do some of the music. I think he did some of the music for Lion King, but he also wrote all the music for Wicked. He did all the music for Little Shop of Horrors. Shit, what's that guy's name? Steven something. Steven Heim. Steven.
I don't remember.
I don't remember. Either way, he's good. He's good, and the movie's a lot of fun. The music is great, and there's original. It's based off the Broadway musical, but there's also some original music in there. Now, of course, I am talking about the director's cut.
Yeah.
Because if you watch the original version, it's not very good. The director's cut, on the other hand, fucking rules. I have that shit on DVD. It's the best.
One of my favorite things about the original Little Shop of Horrors is that it's Jack Nicholson's fucking acting debut.
Yeah, and he's not even really in it.
He's in it for about 23 seconds.
And then in the remake, guess who plays the Jack Nicholson character?
Who plays him?
Fucking Bill Murray.
Oh,
it's fucking Bill Murray. I'm in. You got me in.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, check out Little Shop of Horrors. Check out Singing in the Rain. Definitely good films. Classic.
Dude, watch both Little Shop of Horrors. The first one's not a musical, but it's also awesome.
This Halloween, you and I should just do like a double feature of the original and then the remake.
Okay.
That'll be he's already on board. I didn't even have to do any explaining. He's just like, yep.
Fucking great.
Yeah, absolutely. That's gonna be fantastic. Want to talk about Hidden Figures?
Sure.
This movie's good.
Yeah.
This is a good movie.
Fluffy biopic. I like it,
Yeah, absolutely. It's a feel-good film that everybody should see one time.
Yep. Important story. I don't know if you can adequately tell it in 2 hours because there's certainly a lot more to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So what this I'll briefly explain what this movie's about real quick is that you have these African American ladies and they work for NASA, but they work in like the colored section, and the idea is that these three ladies are so good at what they do that they sort of break tradition at NASA and move up despite them being African American and despite them being women. Mm-hmm. And then essentially Jim Parsons takes the credit for all of their work.
Powerful Bazinga.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Bazinga in a few minutes, but
I don't even know his real name. I just call him Bazinga. Just kidding. I know his name. He's rich as shit.
Yeah, absolutely. If he's in movies, I probably know what his name is. Yeah. But so in this movie we have three actresses. I don't remember the name of the actress who plays Mary, but Octavia Spencer plays Dorothy, and she's very good. She's nominated for an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. They're all good, really. The only crazy thing is that like she's the one that's nominated, and I think the reason for that is because of the three, she was the most famous going in. So she's the one that your eye is drawn to the most. That being said, she's not the best actress out of the three of them. No. Taraji P. Henson of fucking Think Like a Man fame. Hey, where'd you bust out a performance like that? That's insanity.
She's incredible. Janelle Monáe is the other one.
Yeah, Janelle Monáe. That's right. And they're all extremely good. And this movie is worth it to see the performances alone. Another thing that I have questions. Look, I haven't seen Nocturnal Animals yet. I don't know what that movie's all about.
I have no idea. But I think it's about jizzing on Amy Adams' feet. Like, I actually think that's a scene in that movie. That's what someone told me.
Maybe.
It's like, yeah, Michael Shannon jizzes on her feet. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Okay, look, there's one thing I don't even want to see Michael Shannon's face, let alone his witch.
Yeah, dude, we're seeing his witch.
Yeah, I don't want to see Michael Shannon's witch, but like, here's the thing: Michael Shannon is nominated for Best Supporting Actor for that movie, and like,
well, we will be watching.
We will be watching it, but like, maybe I'm crazy, but like, you could probably take that nomination out and maybe throw some love to Kevin Costner. Holy fuck, Kevin Costner is good. Why is he so good?
You like the scene when Kevin Costner completely destroys racism by saying, "Here at NASA, we all pee the same color." Real line of dialogue from that movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a cheesy film. It's a cheesy film, but there's
absolutely. It's super cheesy, but like in a very likable manner. Sure. And like the scene where he's like breaking down the fucking like that scene where he says we all pee the same. That's one of my favorite scenes of the movie because this movie is so
Costner literally dismantles racism in this movie.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. The only thing that if I did have to make a pick to this movie, because like I really like this movie, but I do have one problem with it, is that like that there are two characters in this movie who are racist. and they're like the bad guys. We got Jim Parsons, who is a racist, and we got Kirsten Dunst, who is racist.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the scene where Kevin Costner is like, hey, this girl has to walk 40 minutes to get to a colored bathroom, so everybody just uses the same bathroom from now on. As soon as that scene, for the rest of the movie, the racist people just kind of decide not to be racist anymore, and they just stop being racist.
Uh-huh. It's
they're like Jim Parsons.
There's very little conflict in this movie, really.
Yeah, the movie is really just like from point A to point B, like events. It's events.
Yeah.
And like the
conflict, I think that comes with the territory of it being 2 hours and being such a big story, because there's so much more going on. There's the space spectacle, there's the programming stuff, which I'm more interested in, and got about 5 minutes of screen time. There could have been a full movie just about the programming shit.
Well, and another thing too is that if I had to make picks, again, this is a great movie. I recommend everybody see it one time, but you don't need to see it more than that. There is a weird thing in this movie where like the movie is supposed to be about like their struggle, but like other than like the Octavia Spencer character, I mean, like there is a struggle there clearly, but it doesn't seem that huge. Like the girl is like, I got a court date to see if I can go to school, and she goes to court, and the judge is like, yeah, you can do it.
It's low stakes, dude. That's really the main issue with this, bro. Because like there is an important topic to talk about here, and just make a fluffy biopic about it. So
yeah, and like there's the Taraji P. Henson character who's like, oh, like Kevin Costner is like, oh, you're colored and you're a woman, so like you're gonna have to work extra hard, and you're gonna have to be super good for me to keep you on my staff. And then like 2 scenes later, he's like, oh well, I mean, she's super good. I'm gonna keep her on my staff.
Yes, I'll keep you. And then, like one of my favorite scenes was when she first shows up to the Kevin Costner office, and the secretary's like, "Yeah, he's not going to warm up to you." Immediately warms up to her.
Yeah, I mean, like immediately,
almost instantly.
It almost like sets up like what should be an internal struggle, and which I'm sure was an internal struggle, and then shows absolutely none of the struggles.
Mm-hmm.
Like none of the struggles. But it's lighthearted, it's fun, and the performances are so good, except for Jim Parsons. And here's why. Look, we are notorious haters of, what's that show? The Bridge Bang Theory?
You're just going to pretend like you don't know what the name of the greatest television show of all time is?
The greatest television show of all time. Okay, so Jim Parsons is most well known.
I've never seen an episode of that show.
Dude, seriously, it's trash, dude. It's really bad.
I've seen like one scene where they do a feedback loop. And I'm like, yeah, I understand. I get the joke.
I get where they're going with this. It's just, it ain't for me. Yeah. So essentially, Jim Parsons, he's most well known for his character on Big Bang Theory, and
literally plays the same character. Hey,
literally the same character. It's like, hey, I don't know if this was a casting failure or if this is just how Jim Parsons acts. Like, because like now it's confusing me, because I remember seeing like Big Bang Theory and he wins all those awards for that show or whatever, like the acting awards. And I'm like, look, you're not good in this show, but I can tell there's a good actor in there somewhere. But now that I've seen this, I have to wonder if there actually is. Because like,
Is he
either
that's what crazy is. He's always playing like the super smart nerd character. There's no way this guy knows fucking anything, right? He's a shitty Hollywood actor.
But he played it exactly the same way he played Sheldon. He plays Sheldon on the Big Bang Theory. Like, he could have taken that in any direction he wanted to. So either the director fucked up and was like, hey, just do it like in the show. Or that's legitimately just all he knows how to act
with autism.
Yeah, like he's just like an autistic character who's really loving science, who just super loves science. And it's like, hey, I've seen this. Is this a prequel?
Hey, Jim Parsons, are you legitimately riddled with autism?
Yeah, I don't know. I do not know.
I think he's good enough that he's playing the part, but I think he just has one part.
He's fine at playing this character, but it's nothing groundbreaking. It's
I want to see him try something new. I want to see him,
him and fucking Dan Whitney in a Woody Allen movie. That's what I want.
There you go. Now we're talking.
Dan Whitney and Jim Parsons in a Woody Allen film. There. That's all I've ever needed from my life.
How about Mashallah Ali? How about he's having the best year of his life, hey?
Yo, why is he good in everything? Why? I mean, he's obviously much better in Moonlight than he is in this because he has a much smaller role in this.
Yeah, and he's literally the greatest thing in any Marvel franchise in the fucking Luke Cage show, which also came out this year.
Yeah, I haven't seen Luke Cage. Yeah, it's been a good year for this dude. This dude's gonna be a commodity now. He's been in 2 amazing films.
But like, he's been in some good shit this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like he touched the Hunger Games, but like he was a B character or even a C character in that. Mm-hmm. I don't think anybody really cared that he was in that. But now we're seeing him do stuff, and it's really exciting. This movie is interesting because it feels like it was written like 2 decades ago. Do you know what I mean? Like it feels like this movie was written 2 decades ago and it was too risky because like this is really like a very outdated 90s feeling script. Like this is a very 90s feeling screenplay
where they like touch upon issues but they never really talk about them. Like Driving Miss Daisy. Driving Miss Daisy is the perfect example of that because it's a movie that's about racism but they never ever mention it. Like they don't even want to touch it. They don't want to touch it.
Yeah, because it's voodoo, right? And like even like the script structure, it just feels somewhat dated. Like we go from like it's one of those movies that's dense, like something in the 90s, but contentless at the same time. Mm-hmm. Like lots is happening, but not a lot of it is relevant to what's actually going on.
Yeah.
Like it's interesting to watch and it's fun and it's got a lot of really fun characters and it's super heartwarming and it's lovely and it's actually almost offensive that this is nominated for Best Picture the same year that La La Land is, because this movie is legitimately about white people taking credit for black people's work, and that's all that La La Land is. But right. I think there's irony there. I think there's some goddamn irony there, and the only person who's going to notice it is you and I.
Well, maybe we're grasping at straws here.
Yeah, you know what? We might be grasping at straws. We could be totally wrong about La La Land. I just don't think that we are.
I mean, maybe, but I'm going to have to disagree.
Yeah, absolutely. So Hidden Figures, like, there's not a lot more that we could really say about it. It's a well put together movie.
It's pretty. It's actually more enjoyable than I expected. It's actually a pretty fun movie.
Looking at the premise, I thought that there might, like, despite it being important and relevant to modern day society, I did think that it would drag a little bit, and it didn't.
I do basically owe my career to the Octavia Spencer character for figuring out those early macheting. Connor, we've macheted a path through early code and Fortran so that you don't have to do anything and become rich, and I appreciate that.
God bless. Thank you, Octavia Spencer.
Look, programming is so fucking easy now. I could teach a monkey how to do it, but actually learning Fortran and assembly and fucking machine code and shit, no, thank you. I would never do that.
I like that they kept calling.
I would never do that.
I like that they kept calling the computer an IBM. That was good to me because nobody would ever say that. And nowadays, it's just a fucking computer. Yeah, you had a computer. Did it have a name? Did they give it a fancy name like in the Imitation Game?
Yeah, it had a name. I forget what that like one was
Paulina?
Called. No,
Paulina?
it wasn't.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It wasn't like that because those early IBMs were run by the Navy, so they're all qualified as ships. So like you'd have a captain that is the main programmer on it. It's really interesting stuff.
Oh, that's actually really interesting. Yeah, this movie is interesting, and some of like the astronaut stuff. That guy who played John Glenn, I've seen that guy
awesome. I fucking love that guy.
He was on something I saw recently. Oh, he's on Scream Queens.
I don't know what that is, Chadley.
Dude, it's an absolutely preposterous TV show. I would say watch one episode, but don't go more than that because then you'll get sucked into the vortex of garbage. It's like Riverdale, which continues to be amazing, by the way.
You're on board with that, hey?
Dude, I'm fucking so on board. Here's the thing. Jughead hasn't eaten a single burger, and I'm not going to stop watching until he does. The second fucking Jughead eats a burger, I'm in. You know, I at that point, I'm like, all right, I've seen everything I need to see. I think I can put this one to rest.
Want that burger?
Yeah. He has said Manny Burgers before.
Manny Burgers.
He has said Manny Burgers. Manny Burgers.
Put a burger in that man's hand.
So if I had to like say one pick from this week for a movie for people to see, it's the one that's easiest to access. My pick of the week is Sing Street. This is an excellent film.
Legitimately incredible film. I really enjoy it. I don't know. I wasn't really expecting to either. That's why I think I like it so much, because I had no expectations going in.
Are you buckled up for the Oscars, Buck? Because it's coming.
Freeway.
It's coming, baby. We're mine carding all the way to the Oscars. We got one more episode. Well, I mean, we're probably going to do more than that, but we do have one other episode that we have to do before the Oscars, where we're going to talk about, what are we talking about? The best picture.
Fences.
Flicks, the last of the best.
High Water and Lion.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. My brain shut off for a moment there, and I think I have brain damage now. So
yeah, it's very likely.
Yeah, absolutely. You can follow me on Twitter. I actually changed my Twitter handle back to what it used to be, so now I'm easier to find. It's just Chadley the movie.
Wow,
Chadley
you got
the
that
movie.
back, hey?
Yeah, I got it back. Nobody snagged it while I was on hiatus from it.
I'm Buck Hollywood the Duke. You can follow me on Twitter at LastCoolDude.
And you can like the Punch Nerds on Facebook. Please do that. Makes us feel famous.
Subscribe to us on iTunes and YouTube. Movie Epidemic. Just type it in. You'll find us. We're the only one, bitch.
Yeah, baby.
Oh.